My microphone wasn't on. I was talking like a maniac for about 3 seconds. How you guys doing? I'm Pabs, a Ricine VTuber and an artist. And boy oh boy, can I get clumsy with some of these OBS settings. Alright, let's head on over to the working screen. You know what it is. We're doing another Artfight attack today. Howdy. Hey, Ven. How you doing? Alright. I love doing these Artfight streams because, well, first of all, because obviously I get to draw a nice art for people. Hang on. My jersey is kind of crooked here. But yeah, partly because I get to draw cool art for cool people, but also because I get to be slightly taller than usual because I gotta show off the full hoodie, the full jersey for the team, and not cut my legs out at an awkward angle. You know, you gotta get every benefit you can take. So this is the character that we'll be drawing today. Her name is Jetta Vendetta, and she is made by a artist called CinnamonPuffy, I believe their name is. Alright, let's see. Let's take this on over to the working screen. Okay, so apparently this girl is supposed to be almost like a delinquent, so I'm definitely gonna leverage that for the vibes. Yeah, it just so happens that I have a bunch of these poses where people are just like popping a squat like this, which I feel is like very delinquentish. Yeah, I've been kind of like itching to find a situation where I could use something like this, precisely for this reason. Okay, let's see. Okay, so probably a little bit more thick set than that. Just a little bit. I think around there is good. Alright, let's see. God, I have so many goddamn folders in here. I really gotta sort this out one of these days. Oh, here we go, okay. But yeah, like I said, the good thing is that, you know, she has a cigarette, she has the baseball bat. I feel like there's a pretty good way that we can kind of approach this. There's like a, you know, it's practically a gimme for me. I love drawing delinquent characters. I'm not like, I was never delinquent myself, you know, because I think you can tell pretty easily from the kind of overdose of pink aesthetic going on in the background of the floral patterns. I didn't really have what it took to be a delinquent, but I love delinquent characters. Alright. Yeah. They are my jam. Okay. Only problem here is that this doesn't really give a place for the baseball bat. I guess you could have it slung over her shoulder. Oh, that might be something. So like maybe almost like how you're supposed to carry a rifle. She could have it kind of like leaned up against her shoulder like this. Yeah, I think that could work. Now, only question is, how do I make that as unobtrusive as possible for this? I could also just have the bat just kind of like held down here. No, but that's weird as well. Lots of options here. Alright, hang on. Put the hand back for the moment. Maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. What about... I mean, it's not like I need to include the baseball bat, but I want to include the baseball bat, you know? It's a cool weapon. Yeah, like I said, I could just have it leaned up against her like that, but that just feels uncomfortable. Oh, I could have it kind of like at her side right here. So like maybe it's like in the crook of her elbow or something. Okay, I think that might work. Okay. All right, we've got the plan. We've got the idea. We've got the kind of aesthetic that we're going for. Where is my pen? You'd think that as an art streamer, I would keep much better track of where all my different drawing utensils are, but you would be wrong. All right, we are brave warriors of the we bravely venture into the unknown out here, and I just decided, and I just make it a surprise for myself every stream where exactly I left my pen. One of these days it's going to end up in Cuba somehow, and that, boy, let me tell you, at that point I might as well just get a new one. Okay, so then... I don't know if I should go for full sharp teeth because I don't think the original character design had like full sharp teeth, but I definitely want to show some canines in there. Okay. Okay, I think we can kind of work with this as well. Something about this nose is bothering me. Something about it doesn't feel like quite the right perspective. I think it's, yeah, I think this is what I was missing. Hang on. I'm just gonna put this lower down. There we go. Okay, I think that kind of solves the issue I was having with it. Okay. I don't know. This face feels like it's a little... Okay, yeah, I feel like maybe this is more kind of on brand for the character. I don't know. I don't know how round her face is supposed to be. I feel like it would be a nice dichotomy, just like making a very round-faced person, you know, the kind of delinquent character, but at the same time, this isn't my character, right? I've got to try to understand more of the original design intention for this. So maybe a little bit like this. This is a bit of a compromise. You know, a bit more square, a bit more round. But, you know, it's still got a little bit of softness to it. Okay. Actually, maybe I can just have the mouth open. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, somehow this has a much better vibe than before. It almost has a vibe a little bit like those, like that guy from the Gorillas, 2D. I don't know why I thought of him all of a sudden. Maybe it's the blue hair. I think that might be it. Okay. However, that also means that I gotta move the nose a little bit. It's looking a little bit cubism right now, in terms of like its shape and position. Yeah, wasn't the idea behind cubism that you would use kind of odd angles to demonstrate all the different sides of one thing kind of on the same place? I think that's like part of the Cubism ethos. In that regard, that animation error where characters have like those kind of flounderfish mouths technically count as cubism. Although it is partly the intention, right? So I imagine, so if you don't want your piece to be cubism, I don't think like you can't just like say my piece is cubism and not have any cubism elements in it. And likewise, you can't just make something and some other guy goes, this is cubism. You can say, no, it isn't. I'm just bad at drawing. I feel like you should be entitled to that. Okay, maybe slightly higher cheekbones. Yeah, that feels right. Alright. Yeah, okay. Not much detail on the eye, which does mean that I can go ham a little bit on this. Oops. Alright, here we go. Shift this a little bit to the left. Her left, I guess, not my left. I guess it would be my right, right? I don't know. I recently learned that apparently, at least for the moment, you know, for the time being, I might be able to change this very easily. But for the time being, I should stay away from using the Live2D, the Live2D accessories available in VTube Studio. Not because they, like, are too much for my computer to handle. They're not. It's a bit of a humble brag there. But because I had my desk set up in such a way that it would be better for me to, you know, because when I started streaming, I had my desk set up in such a way that it would be better for me to have the camera input reversed. So right now I'm looking to my left, and, you know, it looks like I'm looking to my left, but usually it's the other way around. I think I've got myself, like, mirrored or something. Or I don't know, maybe that didn't carry over from my... because I've been using VTube Studio since my debut, which was over way back in April. And... yeah. Would it have transferred over when I changed computers? It might be, like, normal now. No, but that doesn't make sense. Then the Live2D accessories would have worked. Maybe it's one of those great mysteries of life type of thing. You know, some things were never meant to be understood. Although that being said, I probably should try to learn to understand it, because I am going to try and get those googly eye redeems. Those are coming, by the way. I haven't forgotten about those. They are coming. Okay. I feel like I make eyes a little too wide sometimes. I feel like that's one of my issues, that I make, like, a lot of facial parts a little too wide. And that might have been, like, a holdover from when I used to make, like, very wide faces. So I might have just had that as a kind of, like, artist trait in order to compensate a little bit. Hang on, that looks weird. Okay, here's what we can do. We can change this around so it looks like this. Although I guess it would be a little wide because of the, the perspective on this. Okay, how do these eyelashes go? Okay, so there's no... okay, so it's more about the bottom lashes for this person. Alright, so it's a bit more emphasis on this. Okay, no, that was me. Okay, that's just not right. Hang on. Yeah, I've always really admired it when people draw eyelashes in such a way that the eye just kind of blends into it. I've always thought that's very cool. I might try that. But... no, that doesn't feel right. It's not quite right. I might try it, but like, not... I need to figure out this eyelash first and then maybe try it. Yeah, she's got those like wingtips. I think that's what they're called. I remember in high school one time, I asked a bunch of girls how their makeup worked because I was curious about how it's applied, you know, because like you see all these as a guy who has like never had a real reason to look into how makeup works, you know, I've never cosplayed, I've never done anything like that. A lot of the tools in kind of makeup kits look very esoteric. I kind of understand them a little bit better now because I've seen like YouTube videos and all that, you know, explaining, oh yeah, this is used for this, you know, as a kind of like variety thing. But, you know, as a kid, I was just like fascinated by it. Like, wow, you use all of these things for the same part of your face? What was that kind of feeling? A very sincere kind of wonder, basically. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. I like how this expression is coming along. I'm not gonna lie, I really like how it's coming along. Okay, eyebrow is just kind of a regular kind of shape like this. Up, flip it over. Yeah, God, that reminds me of like this thought that I had earlier. I've heard that some people, instead of having to, you know, do their eyebrows, again, a thing that I've never really understood, your eyebrows are your eyebrows. But again, you know, that's just kind of my uncultured perspective, I suppose. But I've heard that people shave off their eyebrows and have them tattooed back on, you know, so that they don't have to consistently do them, they just have to keep them shaved. And I have to wonder what happens if the person who's tattooing your eyebrows does a bad job. Like if they tattoo your eyebrows in such a way that not only can you like it doesn't look bad, it's not going to be fixed even if you do grow out your eyebrows normally. Like, what do you do if that's the case? I feel like that's the hardest possible L you can hold, because like for the rest of your life you're going to look like you're doing the DreamWorks expression. And you paid money for that. Like, that's something you paid money for. That has got to suck, right? Okay. Anyway, this hair. Okay. I kind of like how my hair turned out today. You know, not the character's hair, though, not the one that I'm drawing, the one for me in real life. I know the guy you see in front of you, the little rice man, doesn't technically have any hair, but humor me for a moment. Exist with me in a universe where I do have hair. You know, a universe much like ours, but much stranger. You know, let's say that I had a good hair day in this universe where I had hair. But the thing is, it didn't even look particularly good. I just like how it looked. Yeah, for a long time, I wore my hair parted to the left, to my left-hand side, and my parents told me that, like, apparently that's supposed to be the way that ladies are supposed to part their hair, not dudes. And that's another thing that I've learned recently. Like, I found out that I've only very, very recently been exposed to a whole lot of gender norm stuff, because, you know, as a kid growing up, you don't wonder, like, oh, hey, like, you don't hear about, like, oh yeah, the men's dress shirts have buttons on the left side and women's dress shirts have buttons on the right side. It's only as an adult that I find this shit out. So I am wondering how it's relevant, right? Like, I wonder how it kind of came to be, all of this. The hair parting thing especially. Like, what's up with that? somehow this hair does not look right. I think I made it like way too wide. Oh yeah, speaking of weird things, have you guys heard of this thing called the Nothing Technology Company? I almost said humpany, and that's the worst possible thing I think I could have said. I feel like that's like opening the I feel like that's like opening the floodgates to a septic tank, you know? Anyway, there's this technology company called the Nothing Tech Company. That is their name, and I think they were trying to do a bit like I know that Elon Musk guy owns a company called the the Boring Company. They're the guys that made the flamethrower for clearing away snow. So I wonder if it's supposed to be like a play on that a little bit. Anyway, they're also these guys, the Nothing Technology Company. That's a mouthful. I'm just gonna call them the Nothing Company. The Nothing Company is apparently making a phone. Now, I've never heard of these guys before today. However, I will say that the phone is, to me, just kind of a little bit ugly. Like, you know how for stuff like techwear or, you know, for stuff that's supposed to be like very hacker-ish, they'll kind of show the device's guts to kind of show off like all the circuitry and stuff in there? I honestly miss that as a design choice. You know, I feel like we don't get that nearly enough these days because everything has to be like very sleek and modernized. But somehow these people did it in a way that managed to piss me off. I don't know what it was about it specifically, but there was something about the way the phone was just kind of put together that really I did not like. It was very strange. Also, I think it might be very expensive because I don't know if it was a site glitch or something, but when I looked at the price tag on the phone, it said 99,999 Canadian dollars. To reiterate, I'm almost certain that can't be correct, but given how weird some of these companies are about their pricing, it would not surprise me if they tried to sell you a $10,000 phone. Yeah. You know, back in the day when Apple made the iPhone, I don't fucking know anymore, the iPhone 10? What iPhone are we on now? The 13, 14, 15, 13.2, like Final Fantasy? I don't even care, honestly, but, you know, back in the day, I remember that, I think it was like in 2016, it must have been like circa 2016 or so. Everybody was like whinging and whining about, oh yeah, the new iPhone. Look, it costs like $1,000, and it'll break first thing in the morning. And I was like, yeah, that's funny. But I feel like that almost kind of emboldened people into selling, you know, phones for exorbitant prices. Okay. Anyway, so then we got this here. There we go. Ballin'. Okay, then over here and over here. Over here too. I feel like the hair lines are a little thick, so I'm gonna try to thin them out. Yeah, there we go. Am I missing something? Okay, yeah, here we go. I was missing this spot right here. Also, these lines here are still a bit thick. Yeah, is it weird that I find more control? I have more control over stuff when I am doing the correction in post like this. Also, this eye is still a little too big, so I'm gonna try to squeeze it together a little bit like this. No, that doesn't look right somehow. Hang on. What about, like, with the free transform? Yeah, my only concern now is that it might be a little too far away from the nose. So maybe if I, like, move the whole thing up just a couple of centimeters to the left. Yeah, I feel like that's a bit better, although now it looks a little big. I think what's also bothering me is the kind of placing of the iris. You know, because I moved it around a little bit, now it doesn't look like it's kind of pointing in the same direction, the two eyes. Okay, I should drink some water. Okay. Oh yeah. I also read about the fact that apparently pretty soon, I think, there's going to be a sale for one of those Stormtrooper helmets. Now, this is one of the original Stormtrooper helmets from the original Star Wars movie. I'm not sure how those things even go on sale anymore. Like, I feel like that's one of those things where if it goes on sale, that means that somebody has died. You know? Like, I feel like there's certain collector's items that you just know the person is going to have to die before you get your hands on it. Which creates a very morbid kind of waiting cycle for the object in question, I feel. I wonder if there's going to be, like, if at some point somebody's going to start up, like, a old collectibles tontine. That's a dark thought. But yeah, apparently it's gonna go for like $30,000 or something. That reminds me, I've always heard that like when a guy starts like making a quote-unquote man cave, yeah, you always hear about these man caves, right? You know, like a dude has a midlife crisis or suddenly feels like he wants to, like maybe he feels like he doesn't have enough of a place to be himself or something. He gets himself a man cave. And for some reason, and I don't know why, but it's become like a meme or even a trend in these man cave things to have a life-size statue of those stormtroopers, which is a very weird decision on two fronts. Alright, first of all, it's kind of weird on the front that, hey, that's supposed to be like one of the bad guys. It's a little weird that you just got one of those in there. Like, I know like the stormtroopers have a very iconic design. I'm not going to begrudge anybody for that, but it still feels weird. You know, especially given how recently like the Empire has had like way kind of Nazi illusions applied to it. Like, it feels much weirder now. At least to me, you know, a lot of people aren't looking that deeply into it, so that's also fine. But I do wonder, like, what it is about this consistent thing. I imagine that it might be because maybe it's like an issue of resources and access, right? Because like people have been buying life-size stormtrooper statues for ages and ages now. I imagine, you know, it's not exactly like a new trend. I don't think, at least, you know, I imagine there must have been enough Star Wars nerds even back in the day to warrant the mass production of these fucking statues. And, you know, it's a nice kind of centerpiece for the room. I get that. It's a nice kind of bold statement piece. You gotta have one of those, you know. I have this tapestry I got off Amazon that has a very kind of psychedelic version of the Great Wave of Kanagawa. You know, that's a conversation starter. That's like a talking piece. But why is it consistently the stormtrooper? Is there like some kind of like weird vibe they send off? Is it like, you know how like a dog will sense a tsunami before it's coming? Is it kind of like that? Does it kind of like trigger the soon to be divorced guy's kind of fight or flight instinct and immediately make them beeline for it. You have to wonder what it is with that consistency. Then again, this is mostly based on hearsay, so I might just be talking out of my butt here. Yeah, the face looks really lonely without any of the freckles. I wonder if there's something that I can do to make her look more youthful as well, because I don't know why, but this lady looks like she's in her 30s. It's probably because of the pose and everything, you know. You don't see too many 19-year-olds smoking these days, I don't think. You know, that's something that I'm happy with, though. You know, you don't see nearly as many people smoking these days as you used to. Or well, at least as many as I used to see. I don't know about how it is in your area. Okay, hang on. Yeah, but at least where I am, smoking is fairly rare, particularly because I think there are laws about smoking outside of buildings. I think you can't be smoking near 30 feet of an entrance or exit. So I think that also kind of heavily discourages the smoking habit. Not to mention, it really is just absurdly expensive these days to smoke. You know, you used to be able to buy a pack of cigarettes for like what, less than $20, and now it's like 40 bucks a pack, maybe more. I'm not really up to date with cigarette prices because I don't smoke, so that's a wild guesstimate. But I'm guessing that given the inflation that's taken hold of the world recently, I can't be too far off with that estimate. Yeah. We need to find like some other alternative habit that also looks cool and can occupy your hand. We could make characters do vaping, but that doesn't have nearly the same kind of vibe to it. Yeah, the cigarette has managed to hold quite strongly onto its image of being like a rebel's tool. Firstly because like, you know, back in the day when they were hyping the shit out of it because, you know, they hadn't done all the studies that told you that it gave you lung cancer yet. People were like, yeah, people are saying this makes you look cool, so, you know, smoke, it makes you look cool. But, you know, after they figured that out, it's like, dang, smoking shows that you don't give a damn about your body's health, and that also makes you a rebel for some reason. You know, it's like, it's definitely probably got like something to do with like, there's definitely like some agenda going on behind that kind of idea, but I don't know. I feel like that's been the case, at least. You know, smoking has always had like the connotations of being a rebel, except that before, well, it was like a rebel because, you know, you were stinking out the place and everything. But nowadays it's a rebel because, you know, it's not giving a damn about your health. Oh yeah, that does remind me though. Earlier today, I basically walked home from work. I slept out a little bit early because I worked some overtime earlier, and essentially you only need to work 40 hours a week for this job. I hope I haven't done anything wrong in my perspective, but you know, I got out of work earlier a little earlier than usual today, and I saw on my way home a dude who had those little like cat backpacks, right? He had those little cat backpacks where you like store a pet or something, and they can like see out a little peephole. It looks like an Among Us. I'm gonna draw it real quick. It's like one of these things. I'm not drawing an Among Us, by the way. This is the backpack that I was talking about. And you know, you got like a little cat or something in here that's just like looking out into the world. And you wear that, and that way your pet can experience all the delights and escapades of a child staring out of a McDonald's play place while simultaneously getting them around. You know, it's a cool little thing. Anyway, I saw one of these dudes who had one of those backpacks, and he was showing off his cat to a lady on a bench. And when I wasn't gonna like make a big deal of it as I passed by, because you know, it's like there's no reason to make it a big deal. But when I did pass them by, I almost said under my breath, "Holy shit!" Because the cat that he was showing off somehow had the most perfect toe beans on Earth. You know, like the little paw pads that cats have. Somehow this cat had the pinkest, softest looking, most like beautiful paw beans that I'd ever seen in my life. I was like, damn. But you know, then I kept walking. I got myself a burger and everything because I was hungry. Yeah, for once I'm not going into the stream super hungry because I actually did eat. Yeah, I've wisened up now. I've become a much more mature mag of Bice. I think the healthiest thing to do when you fuck up the pronunciation of something like that, you know, where you switch out a word in something, the best thing you can do for yourself, not only for the bit, but also, you know, as part of your self-confidence, is to kind of see it through to the end. Because first of all, it's funny, and as has been previously established, but second of all, because it kind of like makes you realize, hey, it's not that bad, you know? I feel like making light of your mistakes is a little bit of a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, you kind of run the risk of that kind of the self-depreciating humor, which, you know, isn't good for you. It's not good to beat up on yourself. You know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of healthy self-criticism, but taken to extremes, it can not only be bad for your own mental health, but it can also make it awkward for the people around you. Yeah, that's something that I had to learn a little bit. And I feel like it's something that maybe is very valuable to take with you, because, you know, I heard a phrase today that somebody said, optimism sounds like somebody is giving you a sales pitch, while pessimism sounds like somebody's trying to help you. And I think that's kind of a big reason why so many people buy into pessimism more easily these days, especially. Because, you know, when you kind of like do the self-depreciation thing, you essentially get to feel sorry for yourself. And again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with feeling sorry for yourself. You know, sometimes you need a little self-sympathy. You can kind of, you know, you're entitled to kind of go, hey, this situation sucks, I don't like it. You know, I feel like being able to say that is very important, because then you've kind of established, you know, speaking your mind out on that not only kind of might help you relate to other people a little bit, but it also kind of lets you ideate, like, hey, this does suck, how can I fix it? You know, it kind of gets the brain juices flowing. Not even to fix it, but maybe make it suck a little bit less. Yeah, I don't know. Something about it all is just very... Yeah, I'm on team optimism now. I don't think I was ever 100% on team pessimist, to be perfectly honest. I think I'm too cheerful for that. Which is probably a good thing. I think I'd make like an awful... I would make an awful pessimist. Because I say everything as a joke already, and a lot of pessimism banks on being able to make your audience laugh. What's that phrase associated with bathos? Like, make it sad, make it horrifying, make it the most painful thing they've ever seen, but for the love of God, make it funny. Kind of like that. I think that's kind of one of the other driving ideas behind it. Yeah, one of the greatest things one of the greatest tricks I ever taught myself was that instead of complaining, I would just make jokes about stuff. Because that way, I'm not only not bringing down the mood, it's like hashtag relatable. So that way, I'm a kind of a multi-purpose knife in any social situation. Except possibly funerals. Don't make jokes at funerals. That's slight disclaimer there. Don't make... Yeah, this is a Pabs TM trademark copyright 2022 disclaimer. Don't make jokes at funerals irresponsibly. Okay, this is just like a kind of general brown patch here. Okay, there we go. I should drink some water. Oh yeah. That being said, even though I am on Team Optimus these days, it doesn't mean I'm not going to pick a fight with random people. Because today I learned that in the UK, okay, maybe that was a bad way to phrase it, but essentially, today I learned that in the UK there is an association, the Anti-Metrication Force, the Anti-Metrication Force in the UK, which is almost exactly what it sounds like on the tin. I think in like 2013 or so, some time ago, maybe even like in the 90s, I'm not sure exactly. The UK adopted the metric system as its standard measuring system, which is good because the metric system is fucking awesome. All right, I'm not gonna hear any shit about using fucking imperial system over here in my own damn stream. This is the one silly ground rule that I will put on. However, some people didn't take too kindly to that, and there is essentially a very small but very dedicated group of individuals in the UK who have made it their life mission to fight this conversion of measuring systems, essentially, which involves essentially kind of grabbing signs and road signs and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, replacing whatever metric measurement they've got on there with imperial measurement, which frankly seems kind of dangerous. Like all anti-imperialist measuring system, also anti-imperialism in general, but anti-imperialist measuring system jokes aside, I feel like replacing the numbers on a road sign is kind of dangerous, maybe. I mean, I imagine that if it's people who use the road sign normally, it'll be fine because, you know, you've almost kind of got the muscle memory to work off of if that's the case. But what if it's like just some dude who's never been in the town before and suddenly sees this sign that's in some mysterious fucking measurement system? Like, what about that guy? Like, I feel like it's unfair to some people to have that be in, you know, obviously you're allowed to be upset that they changed the standard. Like, I'm not gonna like rack on them for that. Okay, maybe I will a little bit, cry about it more, but I feel like if you do that, you are actually messing with city infrastructure, and that is actually a really bad thing. I don't know. I do support vandalism. I will admit that straight up. I do support vandalism in its many shapes and forms. I find it hilarious when somebody draws a dick on a billboard. It's true. But I feel like that's less so much vandalism as it is just so much you being bitter that you actively inconvenience others' lives. Which is a little bit of what vandalism is. But I'm talking more like people drawing stuff on stuff that was on like advertisements and such, or like billboards or something like that, not like obstructing proper bits of infrastructure. I mean, my god, the UK has bad enough infrastructure as it is. I imagine, at least. Like, I don't imagine any major Western power has particularly decent infrastructure when it comes to like roads and such. I've seen some of the potholes in the UK. All right, you are not slick. You are not fooling anybody. Those are some big old potholes. Okay. Okay, then this is gonna... Yeah, this is just kind of gonna expand over in this direction. Come on, buddy. Come on. There we go. Alright, now we gotta connect these up. I like how this part here almost looks like two hands holding each other. That's cute. Alright, let's see. Simplify, simplify. Yeah, for somebody who loves having characters use them as weapons, I am not too good at drawing baseball bats. Maybe that's the next thing I should make in Blender, like a random baseball bat asset. That's not a bad idea, actually. I've been meaning to hop back into Blender. After Artfight, though, you know, I've got my hands a little full with this whole thing all month. Not that I'm complaining, though. I feel like I very rarely often, you know, when it comes to Artfight, you still get to some degree, a freedom in what you're drawing, but at the same time, I feel like it also gives you an opportunity, a valuable opportunity, to really experiment outside of your normal, your kind of like normal character design kind of mindset. Yeah, like Wario's OC design yesterday, like that was some really interesting stuff. I never in a million years could have come up with like that kind of design, and I think that's an important opportunity in Artfight because it does really expand your horizons like that. Yeah. Okay. So hang on, name like this. How far down does this jacket go? Okay, kind of like that. Okay, so I think I might have goofed on the perspective for the jacket here. Yeah, there we go. Really wish these lines would connect a little easier. Ugh. Okay. Alright, then we can start off with the sleeve on this hand. Here we go. Oh, okay, here's a question. For those of you who have, like, heard about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, how did you... and have made like a fan stand for that series. How did you decide on your stand name? Because for a lot of people, they have like a song that's very personal to them. For context, for those of y'all who are not in the know, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a very long-running manga series, which is somewhat famous for having a lot of its characters and abilities named after musical acts, to the point where they've had to heavily modify the names of both characters and abilities in the English dub to avoid copyright, which is hilarious. But essentially, it's people naming their powers after music, and you know that's good. I think that's a cool concept, particularly because it gives you a lot of room to make. As somebody who is a fan of the series, it gives you a lot of room to really play around with like the meaning and ideas behind your character. You know, it's not nearly so limiting because, you know, when you have a lot of fan series, or not even fan series with big fandoms, and you have people kind of creating their own characters in that fandom, particularly if it's like a fantasy thing, you know, you're kind of limited to like the classical 4 elements or some other kind of weird matchup thing when it comes to kind of designing your character, which can also be very good. You know, it has its strengths because then you only have like a limited number of things to choose from. That makes it easier to decide. You know, it's easier to go say yes or no than to go like, hey, can I have like this and this, you know? Yeah, that's like a marketing trick I've heard about once. Like, don't give them like. I feel like I forgot how to phrase it, but essentially the idea is that rather than giving your customer, you know, a whole kind of slew of, you know, kind of letting your customer do the ideas thing, you might want to kind of start them off at least by kind of giving them like a choice, you know, like it's either do this or don't do that. Oh wait, no, like it's oh wait, no, okay. So now I remember it. Now I remember it in full. Okay, I just had a brainwave. I've just established a deep memory neural connection for this shit. Anyway, okay, is that okay? No, I think that's just like a normal cross. I was gonna say, is that an inverted cross or something? But no, it's just a normal cross. I can make it look like a plus sign. Anyway, right. So the idea was that instead of giving your customers just one pitch, you know, deciding whether or not they want one thing, what you're supposed to do to kind of sell people on an idea is to give them a variety of choices. So, you know, if you have like a gym, let's say you're running a gym, right? And you say, okay, if you want to join the gym, the membership costs like $80 a month. And the customer might go like, oh damn, $80? Sheesh, I don't know if I can afford that. It's too rich for my blood. Bye. And they leave. Which is not what you want. You want the customer to buy whatever you're selling. So what you do is that instead of saying, hey, this gym is like $8, you need to have some kind of differentiation where you say, hey, normal gym is $60, but super gym is like $90, right? So let's use that example, because then you're still getting ultimately $80 on average, assuming you sell the same quantities of both. Then it's less a matter of, oh man, do I want the thing or not? It's more, okay, what am I getting though? You know, it doesn't give them enough time to essentially think out, hey, do I actually need this? It's more immediately just kind of, oh crap, which do I choose out of these options? Which one is for me? And that's a very neat kind of psychological trick into making them already kind of, in their minds, assume they're buying something. Which is to say that you know, if going back to the context of like making fan characters for, I don't know, Final Fantasy or friggin' Pokemon or something, you know, making fan Pokemon or something, you now have narrowed it down from, okay, do I want to make this or not, to, oh, if I was doing this, what would I be? You know, that's a very powerful tool. That's a very kind of powerful idea. Yeah. What I found is that a lot of tricks for business and selling and salesmanship and such do in fact apply to this whole kind of streaming thing. But, you know, in limited ways. But it feels much less evil when I'm using them to have a jolly time on stream and then, you know, sucker somebody into selling, I don't know, some kind of radioactive pendant or some shit. I feel like that's a real thing that people sold. That was a real thing that people sold, actually. People used to sell radium-infused garbage. Not like actual garbage, but like water, pendants, all that kind of nonsense. Because people noticed that when you expose cells to radium, they got excited. Which is true, but it's also how you get cancer. So, not great. You know, it's not a... You know, it does excite your cells, but it's also unzipping your DNA like a fucking Beyblade. So don't do that. Yeah, don't mess with radiations. I feel like I've said that consistently this week. I remember last time I was doing the stream, we were talking about the Demon Core for some reason. And I think I said word for word, unzip your DNA like a Beyblade then, too. Man. It's just a very powerful image, you know? Like, let her rip, but instead of the fun little toy, it's, you know, your DNA, the lifeblood of your everything, I guess. Okay, let's see. There's another button here. And I think there's a third button right here. It's very small, but I think it is there. There we go. Then next up is... Hang on, something about this eye is bothering me. There we go. Okay, the next up would be the other leg. Okay, in this context, it looks like the thigh is kind of going over the calf. So that would kind of look a little bit more like... Okay, there we go. And the other leg right here. I don't know, are these skinny jeans? They don't look that skinny. They're like normal fit jeans, I think. They're like the true fit jean thing. And I hate on the fact that every denim company on the surface of the earth has its own little esoteric, quirky names for a type of jean fit. I feel like that's got to be like a USB cable thing, you know? We got to standardize it at some point. You know, yes, I know that it's not going to make your brand stand out as much. Listen, look me in my non-existent eyes. I do not care. Make it standard, for the love of God. I know that Europe's gonna ban non-USB-C charging cables soon. Yeah, apparently they did it because the USB-C... You know, they chose the USB-C specifically because it's ambidextrous, which means it doesn't matter if you plug it in right side up or upside down. And it also because I think it just charges fast. It's just more of an efficient design. Hopefully that means that soon enough we'll stop seeing so many, like I don't know why I got so mad at this. So in this news where they were talking about how USB-C cables are about to become the standard in Europe, I was like, haha, yes, because I feel like the #1 company that people think of when it comes to annoying incompatible charging cables is definitely Apple. Because the Apple charging cable doesn't really it's a proprietary thing, and so it doesn't really combine with anything else except other Apple products, and even then just the mobile ones or like the computer specifically. Like if you have like an iPad or an iPhone, you can charge it between those two, but if you have a computer, forget it. You know, and that sucks because then you need to get at least another charger for everything, and that's just such a pain in the ass as well. But so, you know, naturally I was thinking, haha, yes, now people who use iPhones will never have to worry about that nonsense again. But then the article followed it up by saying that, oh yeah, and Apple's probably going to switch to just like wireless charging. And I swear to God, I saw red. I don't know why that made me so mad. It's like, I wanted them to have to suck it up and adapt to USB-C charging cables so bad. And then they just decided to skip the middleman altogether, and it just made me so irrationally mad. This is what people must have felt like when Charlie Brown finally kicked the football. Or, well, no, it's like the opposite thing. It's like, imagine if Charlie Brown was kind of a dickhead, and you know, whenever Lucy took the football away at the last moment before he kicked it, he deserved it every single time. Now imagine if he did end up kicking the ball after all, when Lucy did everything in her power to prevent him from doing it, and then Charlie Brown just goes like, "Hey, actually, I'm thinking about playing baseball now." You understand? Like that's the kind of level of frustration that I felt. God, I hate Apple products nowadays. I still have an Apple phone that I haven't changed since 2016, and it's probably earlier than that, like 2015, probably around sometime around then. Anyway, I haven't upgraded my phone in like at least 5 or 6 years, which I'm very proud of. I'm glad I'm proud of taking good care of my stuff so it doesn't break. But recently it's begun doing that thing where it like decharges really quickly during the day. I'm getting a little bit tired of it because today I was like on my phone when it was at 30%, and it just shut off. It just decided it wasn't gonna do any more work today. And when I opened it back up, it said, "Oh, oops! It looks like you actually only have 3%. Ooh, sorry." Like, all right, cool. Die 1,000 deaths, I suppose. It really was just so galling. You know, I remember there said one quote that's been attributed to that dude, friggin'... I forgot his name. The guy that wrote Huckleberry Finn. Anyway, that guy had a quote attributed to him that said, like, there are 3 types of lies. Lies, damned lies, and statistics. And at that moment, I felt like the spirit of those words truly reached me. Mark Twain, that's the guy. Yeah, Mark Twain, that's the guy I'm thinking of. Man, it is weird that as a kid, right, as a much younger kid, almost 10 years ago now, I wasn't one of those schools that encouraged you, like, quote unquote encouraged. Really, they penalized you if you didn't. Essentially, they encouraged you to join extracurricular activities by saying, hey, you have to do a certain number of extracurricular activities every year. And if you don't meet this number, you're gonna fail your grade or some shit like that. Or, you know, there's gonna be like some kind of penalty. I never ended up finding out because I'm a goody two-shoes. Although I got real close one time because I just didn't understand how the system worked. Anyway, for one of these things, I ended up joining what was essentially a miniature book club, where essentially they would have a book club every week, and at the end of those 5, or, you know, at the end of the semester, they'd essentially have a huge quiz based on the books themselves. And I ended up whipping ass at the one time I did that. I never did it again because there were just so many goddamn books. There were like 16 books in there, and I ended up reading like, what, a good 8 of them, I think, or so. There were a lot of fucking books in that one club. One of which taught me about the fucking kakapo bird of all things. Anyway, lots of books in that club. And one of the books that I was supposed to read for that club was Huckleberry Finn. And it is weird, right, that even as far back as that era, it felt weird to read the sequel book to a novel, because I think Huckleberry Finn is technically the sequel to Tom Sawyer, and Tom Sawyer ends with, I think, Tom Sawyer and a bunch of his buddies finding a bunch of gold or something, and Huckleberry and Finn gets some gold as well for some reason. I don't fucking know. I never read Tom Sawyer. I never finished reading Tom Sawyer. But essentially, the story starts out that Huckleberry Finn is rich, and his dad, who is a scheming, murderous asshole, comes by and is essentially like, hey kid, I'm gonna take all your money. And Huckleberry Finn immediately was like, yeah, I thought that was coming, so I ended up giving all my money away to this one judge in town, and you can't have any of it, you douchebag. Which naturally angers his father, but you know, whatever. Anyway, I remember reading that book, and I kept being super confused because they kept making references to Tom Sawyer, which again I hadn't read before. It was just a very confusing time for me. That period in my life in general was just an absolute moment of confusion, punctuated by I don't know, my first read through of Homestuck, essentially. Yeah, that was definitely not helping my mental health at the time. My god. Anyway, so yeah, that's a little bit of a life story about me. Let me think about something else to talk about. Should drink some water. Oh yeah, speaking of capitalist bullshit, have you guys heard that BMW is now starting to charge people for heated seating? Essentially, the kind of new business model they've rolled out, if you can call it that, the new kind of business model they've adopted, it makes it so that you have to pay a subscription fee for heated seatings. I think right now it's only in Japan or something. But essentially, if you want heated seating, you're going to need to pay a subscription service for a feature that's already installed in your car. And that is one of those things that makes you kind of want to bite somebody on the BMW development team. You know? Like, that is just evil. It's something very innocuous. Like, that's innocuous, right? It feels innocuous enough, the friggin' seat heaters. God, that it was such a struggle to get out. The seat heating components of your car, that's like nothing, but at the same time, it's not just nothing. It's kind of like what that nothing represents in terms of what they'll feel comfortable doing and charging for in the future. And that's when things get dark. Yeah, subscription services as a whole have kind of brain rotted, like hyper accelerated the existing brain rot that has existed in startups. And this isn't even a startup. This is fucking BMW, one of the oldest car brands of ever. Yeah, one of the oldest car brands of ever. That's their slogan. They have that printed outside of their huge headquarters, which is also shaped like a BMW car. That is not true. I shouldn't lie about that. Anyway, friggin', I was talking about something, right? The heated seating subscription service. I wonder if it does come like with any other benefits though. Like, they can't just be selling that by itself, right? Like, that would be too cruel. Like, they have to be at least selling like 10 gigabytes of cloud storage or some shit. I feel like they have to in order to make that worth it. Okay. Hang on. But man, I'm glad I got myself this pose pack. For 30 bucks a week, we will let you use cup holders. God, there would be blood on the streets if that was the case. At least I'd hope so. You know, cup holders are a sacred right in any kind of car. I feel like that's almost like that. Taking away paywall and cup holders would be like pissing on a temple. That's what it feels like. Like, that would be the last straw for me. God, that. Yeah, that I do sincerely hope you just haven't spoken the future into existence there, because that would really, really be awful. I mean, if you're not riding with too many people, you can just use a side seat to hold your groceries or whatever, but goddamn, that idea is truly sickening. Bravo. That reminds me of this one time I was like, I saw a post on Tumblr where it essentially had like this person explaining the different cyberpunk elements that are already existing in society, and somebody else essentially said like they just spun a wheel, and they said that the next thing that's going to happen that happened in Shadowrun that's going to happen in real life, it's extraterritoriality, which is a terrifying thought. If you don't know what that is, leaving aside what the heck Shadowrun is for a second, extraterritoriality is essentially the idea that a company can become its own sovereign nation, which is bad. You know, that would be a bad thing. You know, I feel like I almost don't need to state the different reasons why it would be a bad thing, but it is a bad thing. But yeah, somebody predicted that the next big thing is going to be extraterritorialism, and that's just terrifying to me. Yeah, soon enough I won't have to play Valhalla, I'll just be living it in real life. Does the other hand also have the hand wraps? I don't know if it does. I might just give them like a slightly looser hand wrap. Okay. Here we go. Okay, let me just take away the model for a second so I can take a look at this. Yeah, I think it's definitely... There's something about the eyes that makes it look not particularly youthful. This girl is supposed to be like 19 years old, so... Okay. I think it's also the pose as well. The pose definitely isn't helping. I chopped off her thumb by accident. That's supposed to have a thumb there. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Here we go. I feel like I'm also missing like a section right here. Yeah, I am. Does she have like a belt? Yes, she does. Okay. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I feel like I haven't made it obvious enough, like, what this part of the pants is. I forgot the sunglasses on top of her head, too. And some of the stickers on the baseball bat. Okay. Okay, now let's figure out how to make this person look a little bit more youthful. Alright, how about, first of all, starting with a little bit of a transformation tool. Messing with that. Okay, then... I know how to make people look older, but I don't know how to make them look younger. I think that might be the issue as well. Like, to make somebody look older, you need to add wrinkles, and I'm decent at adding wrinkles, but I don't know how to make people look more youthful. I could put on one of those tiny little propeller hats on her. That might work. No, probably not. I think the original artist might get mad at me if I did that. Alright, let's take a look at these sunglasses though. Okay. This one would go kind of over here, and it would have the whole kind of thing, the bridge of the glasses, kind of around here. There we go. Okay, then over here. Yeah, that works, I think. Alright, then size adjustment. Where did I leave that tool? Right here. Okay, here we go. Hang on, I think... Okay, so maybe making the face just a tiny bit rounder might work. Yeah, I think that worked. I think that had the intended effect. I'm happy with that. Alright, and I think with that we can kind of get started on the coloring process just in time, and we're about to hit an hour and a half-ish by my clock. Yeah, I never know like exactly how long I've been streaming because my Twitch stats says one thing, my OBS stats say another. It's a whole mess. It's a guessing game for sure. The only real time that I know is when I export it to YouTube or something. That gives me a pretty clear picture. Okay, maybe it's time for a little stretch. I used to think that that looking at screens made me sleepy, but then I realized I was just like getting dry-eyed. There we go. Cool. Alright, then a last little touch would be to add some detail to this patch right here. What about a sun? What about having like a sun design on there? Or maybe like a moon design. I feel like a moon would fit this character better. Okay. Am I missing anything? I don't think I am. Yeah, I think I've got it. All right, let's get to painting then. Here we go, my magic little helper over here. All right. Okay, so first I think the most clear kind of color on here is the hair. Okay. Okay, skin tone, I think this part here would be the best one for it. Okay. And over here. I think I missed a part of the thumb. Yeah. Okay, hang on. We can fix that though. Wait, no, that's a bandage. I shouldn't touch that. With the normal hand color. Okay, over here. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I read about this other company today while I was reading through these news. I was reading about this sneaker company called On, and their business model is kind of weird. Okay. So essentially, you pay for their service $30 a month, right? So for $30 a month, you will get one pair of infinite shoes. Now, what does this mean? Essentially, it means that for $30 a month, they ship you a pair of shoes made from plastic pellets. And once you've kind of worn the shoes out, you know, they're not very durable, I imagine, being made out of plastic and all that. Once you've worn out the shoes, you can essentially send them back. They'll melt down the shoes and to recycle them, and they will supply you with a fresh pair. Which is a little nuts, actually, because, like, I don't think that recycling technology is that effective. You're still kind of creating some waste, I imagine, with all that plastic, not to mention the water usage, but it's still an impressive idea. You know, I'm kind of into it, you know, a little bit. I think I'm definitely interested in that kind of idea, because I think, or at least having that service be available for a lot more things besides shoes. Because honestly, I feel like when you throw away clothes, it feels very bad. So knowing that they could be reduced to a pile of molten slag and turned into other people's shoes, I feel that would take maybe a little bit of the conscience burden off of you when you're trying to Marie Kondo your closet. It's been a while since I've kind of done an assessment of what I own. It might be good for me to do something like that soon. Maybe some kind of a midsummer cleanup, you know? God, whenever I think of the fact that some people take spring cleaning very seriously, it reminds me of the idea of moving day. So, moving day is not just like a real thing that happens whenever you move. It used to be a whole straight-up tradition in New York, where essentially it was considered fashionable or, you know, trendy. You were weird, essentially, if you didn't move at least once a year near sometime in the spring. I think it was in April or something, or May. But essentially, if you had a whole neighborhood, like you and your neighbors were just supposed to kind of move around wherever you wanted, and you were supposed to do that at least once every year to kind of keep up with the trends. And that to me is such a horrifying idea. I hated moving the one time I've had to do it by myself. I cannot imagine how fucking annoying it must be if you try to move every year. Like, my god, the time wasted alone would be absolutely horrifying. It's weird. I like packing stuff and I like carrying the boxes. I just don't like repacking stuff. Actually, no, I don't even like packing stuff. I just like carrying around the boxes. Yeah, you know, maybe if the accounting thing doesn't work out, I can just become like a box guy. You know, I bet I have the physique for it. I bet I can get nice and big at doing that. Ugh. Okay, then the bandages would also have this color here. Lower the thickness of some of these lines. Jeez, I really gotta get more sleep. I had a good streak going the other time. like a couple of weeks ago, where I was sleeping around 11:30 every night. Boy, those were the days. By which I mean like approximately 2 or so weeks ago. The good old days can be as recent as 3 hours ago, I think, if you're in a bad enough situation now. You know, I think like the good old days is relative not only to how good they were, but also to how old they are. If you have like an absolutely shit afternoon, then yesterday could become the good old days. I think part of it, right, is kind of screen glare issues. Because I've always noticed that I'm a little bit weak to screen glare. So I think what might be happening is that I'm getting so much blue light bombarded in my eyes, and it's making them very tired. And my own head kind of relates that tiredness to, oh, you must be sleepy, time to sleep now. You know, like some kind of effed up melatonin response. Oh boy, let me tell you. Oh my goodness, I should not be yawning this much. It's not good content. Maybe I should get up for a second, hang on. Nope, come on. There we go. I'm wearing like my nice silk socks today because I haven't folded my socks this time around. So what ended up happening is that every morning I have to go hunt for a fresh pair of socks, and it's a mystery as to which pair I'll find first. And so today I have like these nice kind of nylon stocking type socks, which are very nice, very light, very comfy, but they are absolutely hell to walk on for 2 reasons. First of all, they're so thin that like it creates like almost, I would call it a friction effect on my feet, and it's just not very pleasant when you're walking. And second of all, I have hardwood floors, so these socks are smooth enough that I just cannot get fucking traction on these things. I try and I try, but like whenever I try to move my chair around with my legs, it just doesn't work. I have to get up, and I basically have to get halfway up and then move it around with my arms. What a dilemma, I tell ya. Also, I think they might cut off my circulation a little bit. They're a bit tight. Okay. Yeah, the one downside I found so far to having calves as thick around as as 3 apples is that she almost became a wrestler right there. Okay. Yeah, the only downside to having thick calves when you're me is that when you try to fit socks onto your legs, it can get a little uncomfortable. Yeah, 3 apples is definitely pushing it. I'm still at like 2.5 apples. So let me go do some step up exercises, and then we'll talk 3 apples. All right. Okay. Let me just borrow this color for the tongue. Now, is this a piercing or is it just like the art style? I'm gonna choose to believe it's a piercing. There we go. And then her eyes are also a very dark color, so I can just kind of use this. There we go. No, there's something missing from there. I think I might have to use like a slightly lighter tone here. This shine can stay though. Just a small one. Alright, cool. I think that's base layers done. I'm just missing the glasses, and I'll take care of those in like a second. Or I could take care of them now. Yeah, let's take care of them now. Why not? Okay, so I'm thinking new layer. What is the? What are these? Some kind of like weird pinkish color. They also have the same color as like the diamond piercings, or like the kind of golden colors around, but that we can change that in just a minute. Anyway, there we go. Okay, then from there, let's do a little bit of color correction. No, that's too much saturation. I just want a little bit more pop. There we go. Oh yeah, I forgot the buttons here. We can just make those the same kind of golden color though. Okay, then from there... Oh, the cigarette. I also forgot the cigarette. Well, that's fine. It's not particularly hard to draw a cigarette. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. I'm double thinking the. Hang on. I might want to darken it down with less saturation. Okay, I think that's might be a little bit better. Okay, now then, let's get the shading. Alright, so I think the first one is gonna have to be this jacket, right? Then over here, go like one tone darker, and then we can. What are with these like stray hairs over here? Hang on. Okay, then from there, what we're gonna want to do is... Okay, so where would the light be coming in from? Okay, so from around there. So essentially what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to create like two shadows, basically. There we go. Perfect. Then we can use a little bit of a blender to kind of get that in order as well. Yeah, the kneaded eraser tool, that might be better. Oh, crap, hang on. Okay, that makes it a little bit more obvious. I forgot that this was like a second... I forgot that this was like a second layer to an existing blending layer. Hang on. Okay. How do I do this? Oh, maybe a watercolor might do the trick. Hang on. Okay, then hard erase this part here. I'm gonna need to remember to use the wand tool. Okay, then from there... Yeah, here we go. Alright, filter... Oh wait, no, color gamut. Here we go. All right. So for this part here, we're gonna want to start off right here where we know there's a shadow, kind of right here on the cuff. I'm gonna go drink some water. Okay, so we got that there. We got this right here. Here we go. Actually, this whole area is kind of shaded, so I'm just gonna go ahead and boop the whole thing, the shaded color, and then use the kneaded eraser right here. Alright, let's try that again. This part too. Here we go, and now we can try to go ham with the kneaded eraser. Okay. Hang on. Okay, no, wait, there we go. Okay, we're gonna kind of deselect this whole part right here. Reach on over to the kneaded eraser. Okay. Would this part of the jacket also be kind of lightened up a little bit? I think it would be. Okay. There we go. What I might do is that I might add an additional layer. I might keep this as an almost like texturing layer, and then do a proper, and maybe do like an additional cell shading layer above it, and maybe try to clip that into it. Because I like the texture that this has, but I don't quite so much like the actual like look of it. It's a lot of work, but I think it'll create a much better end piece as well. Okay, I want to expand the brush size a little bit for this one. Yeah, this sleeve is practically unshaded as well. And we can reduce the brush size right here. Lean on over there. Okay, then from there... oh, the sleeve too, I suppose. Or the cuff. That's the word I was looking for, the cuff. Yeah. Okay. Actually, you know what? It's kind of growing on me as far as like shading goes. A little little by little. It's growing on me. Like moss. Like mold. Alright, where's the brush? Okay. Then, okay, we'll keep this as a kind of blending layer, I suppose. Oh, I missed a spot. Hang on. Oh, I absolutely missed a spot. Right here. There we go. Like I said, though, it's kind of growing on me a little bit as like in like terms of shading and texture. I think I do like how this inside pocket shade came out, though. So I think I'm gonna like copy and paste that onto a new layer, and then just keep the rest of the texturing for potential future layers as well. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, I'm gonna need to keep the hard eraser on here as well, because with cell shading, it's a little bit less gentle. Okay, then over here. Okay, here we go. How do I do this? Oh, wait, no, hang on, I got it, I got it. Okay, then over here... Actually, that's gonna kind of change the... That's kind of like where it changes where the sleeve is mostly shadowed to mostly light. Okay, here we go. Alright, then here we'll add an extra little bit of light here. Here. And right around here it's going to switch over to being pure shadow. Then just a little bit of the kneaded eraser right here, just to kind of create the kind of like what do you call that kind of like folded texture. Okay, let's see how this looks with the can't say I'm crazy about that. What about maybe using this as a blending layer? Or wait, no, hang on. What about using a slightly different color? No good. That also doesn't... I also don't like how that looks. I mean, I could see it a little bit, but nah, no. Okay, then what about just using it as layering? So maybe it's not... Okay, yeah, okay. So maybe we layer it on top a little bit, you know, not quite, not being like super dense, but also being there enough that you can kind of tell that it's there. And I think that's a good idea. Let's try and go for that as a kind of method. Okay. Then over here. We'll add a few more shadows here and there. A shadow for the bat as well. Why is that not working? Oh, because I don't have the right color selected. Alrighty. Okay. Over here. No, hang on. Something about this doesn't feel right. This also feels wrong. All right, hang on. Let me start over with this top part of the shadow. The base hole can stay though. Okay. So that would start up over around. There we go. Okay, I think this feels much more suitable for shading. There we go. Actually, no, it'd be even shorter than that, I think, because of the way that the shadows work. Thicker, too. Okay, then for the arm, there's going to be kind of like a general shadow running down the length of the arm here. Okay, then over here we'll add some more shading there. Perfect. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, then yeah, and then the shadow for this part would be fairly obvious. Alright, cool. Now let's pile that on top of the other layer, and we can start using the soft eraser a little bit. Okay, I'm going to keep the bat's shadow as is, and probably this shadow here as well. Okay, then this part here, I'm going to soften up a little bit. Yeah, as for the rest of it, I like it. I like how the jacket turned out. Okay, then from there, we can start on the shirt, which should be a little bit more straightforward. Okay, so as you can see, we can only really see the light bouncing off the boobs here, so that's not going to be too difficult to figure out. Well, there is a bit of shadow right here as well. It might be another one of those situations where I have to select the area and then kind of soft shade it as needed. Okay, then that's gonna kind of pop up like this. Nope, that did not work out. Hang on. Here we go. Okay, then from here... Okay, so here is where we'd select the shirt color. And then we can get to work with the soft eraser. Something about this doesn't feel right. Okay, so then maybe from here we can actually do a little something like this to work with the shadows a little more, and then we go for it with a light eraser. I think that might be a good way to do it. A good way of it. Okay, then maybe with the Painterly blender or something right here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that feels good. I feel like that feels about right. Okay, then next up is the pants. Select those. Those shouldn't be too hard either. I'm guessing a lot of texturing is going to go into those too, though. So what I might do, first of all, crack my wrists a little bit here. The other day, right, I got one of those humble bundles, right? A humble book bundle. It was for basically... Every once in a while, they just give you, like, a bundle which has a bunch of very kind of... I'm gonna implement the phrase broad strike zone. Like, I feel that they essentially have so much, like, enough crap in there, just in such a wide kind of net, that it's just gonna catch the attention of somebody. You know, like that's the kind of idea I think behind some of these bundles. Like, it doesn't have like any one specification, but it does have enough like range to maybe catch the attention of like maybe one person will want like 1 or 2 books on the bundle, and they'll buy the bundle, but you know they're still like getting the whole bundle, so whatever. But yeah, I think that's the kind of trick for a lot of these. But also, you know, you could just be giving to charity and getting something that you want out of it. That's also a part of their business model. And so essentially what I got myself was this bundle of books which had a very broad range of different materials on there. So there's some books about exercise, there's some books about cooking. I know like there's this one about like cooking with like just your oven. Essentially, yeah, I think they're called like metal foil meals or something like that. And essentially the idea is that it's a huge cookbook full of recipes that you can make essentially by tossing all the ingredients into a thing of tinfoil. And that'll end up giving you your meal if you throw it in the oven or in like an air fryer or something. It's cool. I like that. I actually do want to try a couple of those. I've been meaning to learn how to cook more properly, because while I can cook enough to feed myself, and you know, if I get instructions, I can definitely cook well enough that it'll like go at least somewhat favorably with the other people in the house. I feel like I don't have enough general knowledge of cooking under my belt. You know, like if I want to put together a meal from just crap I have lying around the house, I still have a long way to go, because I usually because of energy constraints or something, I'll just toss them in a frying pan with a little bit of oil and call it a day. You know, that's not cooking. That's just, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's not cooking, I don't think. It's survival? I guess that would be the word. Yeah, it's not exactly cooking so much as it is just a survival mechanism. Yeah. You know, it's gotten me this far though, so obviously it can't be that bad. You know, I haven't made anything that poisoned myself yet, so at least I have that kind of claim to fame. Although that does just kind of mean that I'm mediocre, you know. I'm not bad enough that I can like poison people on accident or on purpose. Dun dun dun. But anyway, I'm not bad enough that I can poison people on accident, but I'm also not good enough to just be consistently good. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe that's just like. I think I might just be talking nonsense, honestly. But I feel like I am missing an opportunity here to be... Like, at this point, I'm at a crossroads. I can either become one of the better cooks out there, or I can become so unbelievably bad that nobody wants to eat my cooking. Either way, I gain much glory. Or, you know, infamy, as the case may be, whatever. God, I never understood that poison status effect from Pokemon. Like, I never understood what it felt like to be poisoned until I was like more of an adult. Because nowadays, like the other day, right? I told you guys that I was taking those nauseas, not nausea, those iron supplements, and it ended up giving me nausea. Apparently, you're not supposed to take them with calcium either, or whatever. Apparently, that slows down the absorption or something. I'm not taking them anymore, thank goodness, but, you know, I did take them for a little bit. But I feel like when I got nauseous from those, that was the closest I've ever felt to being properly poisoned. Because I do imagine that's what it feels like. You just feel nauseous, you feel kind of feverish, you want to just throw up or die. Not that I felt feverish, but like that's kind of what I imagine comes part and parcel with being poisoned. You always see poisoned people in anime and in movies kind of like being feverish and, you know, shaking and all around just looking not too hot. Unless that's your thing, in which case, you know, you do you, but still, you know, they don't look generally healthy. Okay, then use this to blend it out. That doesn't feel right. Texture blender, here we go. No, that's also not right. Okay, then back here, texture blender, here we go. Okay, this is even worse, I think. How do I do this? Fingertip. I think maybe that might be the one. Nope. Blur? Might be blur. No, that's not all. That's also not that good. Oh, wait, hang on. What about color stretch? I think that might be it. Oh, okay. Okay, I think that might have been it. I think I just needed to use the color stretch feature a little more. Really put some oomph into it. Yeah, really give it the business. It really does bother me when, like, the answer to a digital art problem literally is just you haven't applied nearly enough pen pressure, because it makes me feel like I'm a little weak-wristed baby. I just don't want to hurt my tablet is all. Like, I feel like I should not be punished for that. Yeah, over at CSP, the CEO has, "Hey, hello, how you doing, Kabir?" Yeah, I was talking about like how some of the functions of these like pen tablets don't really come into play until you put like enough pen pressure. Yeah, punished. Yeah, I feel like Over at CSP, the founder is just like pumping iron, just doing wrist curls all day, and they're like, the users are weak little babies. They need to become stronger to survive in this cold, brutal world." I don't know. There hasn't been that many instances of it happening though, so I don't imagine it's like a regular thing. I mean, I know that I definitely don't have the strongest wrists out there. I think pull-ups are good for wrist exercise. Yeah, I also know there's a couple of wrist exercises that I have been doing just regularly to kind of try that out a little bit, and I know those are helping me a little bit. I think. I don't know. I've like in the West, testing your grip strength isn't a regular thing to do. It's not like a school event like it is in Japan. So I don't know what my actual wrist strength is. Like I don't know what my grip strength is. I'm guessing it's not that high. You know, I don't know what it would feel like to have a strong grip. I guess you just give really good handshakes. I don't know. If anybody out there has wrist strength in Japan, yeah, apparently, I remember seeing it a lot in anime that as part of like a standardized sports thing, essentially one day a year they would have like a day where they would just like test out your physical capabilities. You know, it's to kind of to map your growth. It's to kind of tell the kid, hey, you might not be so good at this. Of course, like, you know, a lot of people get very competitive with it, etc. But one of the events in that I recall is testing out your grip strength. Yeah, you have like a machine that looks a little bit like this. A little something like this, and essentially you're supposed to grab it around here, and then just kind of clench your fists as hard as possible, and that'll prove your grip strength. You know, that measures your grip strength in kilograms. Which, I don't know if you use kilograms. I use kilograms. I love kilograms. Yeah, I love you, kilogram. I love you metric system. Okay, then. Over here. It's gonna kind of go on like this, I think. Yeah, I know in my school they didn't have something like that. They had sports day, which was essentially just you running yourself ragged across a bunch of track and field events. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it did give you a day where you didn't have to go to class, so I wasn't about to complain. Yeah, I know one time I got signed up for a 1.5 kilometer run, and I don't know how much that is in miles, but essentially it'll take you, like, at a jogging pace, it'll take you about 15 minutes to complete. It's like a decently long run. And I remember I was friggin' miserable by the end of it, and I didn't even, like, come near first place or anything. I was like, yeah, I have decent... Like, the thing is, it's not even that I got, like, volunteered for it, it's that I volunteered myself for it. So I was like, yeah, I got decent stamina, I bet I can, like, do that. And I did it, and I felt like I wanted to die. You know, be careful what you wish for, is essentially what I'm trying to say. Yeah, physical exertion is never to be underestimated. That's a lesson that I've learned very, very, like, again, it's taken me a while to learn that lesson, but I've learned it eventually. I still remember when I first moved in here, I basically collapsed and slept on the floor. When I first moved into this apartment building, I essentially had to move all my stuff by suitcase, taking bus trips from my old apartment, from my old college dorm, because I didn't have a car or access to people who had a car. Concerned? I mean, it's a little concerning. It's fine though. It's fine. I didn't catch COVID or anything, so I consider that a big old W. Anyway, I essentially moved all my stuff by hand. You know, I packed everything into a suitcase, took it over to the new place, unpacked it, and then went back for another suitcase full of items. When I say that out loud, I can see why that would be concerning. But you know, it worked. It worked. I'm not gonna apologize for it. It worked. They called me crazy for doing it by hand. I'll show them. I'll show them all. Anyway, I went like that, and by the end of the day, I was obviously exhausted, and I was like, huh, weird. I don't know why I'm so tired. I was just moving stuff all day. You're crazy. Well, to be fair, I also didn't really have a whole lot of stuff. You know, I don't know how much. I don't know if you've been a college student, but you don't actually have that much room inside your dorm. So really, it was just like all my clothes, a couple of books, and my drawing supplies, and that was it. It's also occurring to me that I don't know how to draw fluffy things. I actually didn't hear the story, but you're crazy. Okay, so that was more of a general, how do you do, you're crazy. Not a specific, oh damn, you're fucked up for that one, kind of crazy, I see. Thank you for clarifying. That's important for my census purposes. You know, over here they do actually ask you like how many people have called you crazy for real in a year, and you know they have to distinguish how do you do crazies from like you're legit fucked up crazy. You know, on the other hand, the person who gave me that form did laugh in a very odd voice when I asked him his name, and he said, "Never you mind," and then he disappeared into a puff of smoke. So I don't think that was actually the census guy at all. I don't think that gentleman has ever worked for the census office. Damn it, I got gnomed again, didn't I? That was a gnome in disguise. But yeah, I'm guessing drawing fluffy stuff is a lot like drawing clouds a little bit. You know, I remember that like the trick to drawing clouds is to just like make a random shape and then kind of figure out how it would work in a 3D space. So I imagine it's kind of similar in that regard. Just like maybe with a couple more scratchy textures here and there. Nope. That also looks bad. Okay. How are we gonna tackle this? No, not quite. Okay, this might work, actually. Cool. Alright, that's a texture there, then. Also, yeah, how you doing, Leaf? Alright, then for the hands, that's probably just going to be normal cell shading. I'm not going to do that much work on the gloves. Nice puffs, thank you! Okay, let's see. Okay, the gloves. Okay, those are pretty straightforward as well. Okay, then over here. This one might be good for that kind of gauze texture, though. Yeah, okay. Alright, that looks good. I like that. Wrong color. Alright, let's try that again. Okay. I used to worry that I had like almost like a super villain laugh. I feel like I have a somewhat evil laugh. I don't think that's true anymore, but I do feel. But sometimes I do feel like traces of it. Like I am laughing like I'm about to, you know, destroy the combination kitten rescue orphanage in town. Like sometimes I feel like I'm about to tell my goon to tie a damsel into the railroad tracks or some shit. I'm like the villain in a silent movie. Although I guess you wouldn't be able to hear their laughter if it was a silent movie, would you? Much to think about. Yeah, that's always something that's tripped me up. Like how like people's perception of you can differ from your perception of yourself. Because like I've always thought that I came off as decently laid back until recently, but I've kind of learned that I'm not like that at all. I'm actually quite high strung, which is fine. I don't have a problem with being high strung. It's bothering that this isn't connected to anything. Yeah, case in point. There we go. Problem solved. I love it when a problem with the art is simple enough that I can just solve it by moving a line 2 inches to the left, because that makes me feel like I'm almost like parrying the issue away. No, it's like that saying, the easiest way to solve a problem is to make it go away. I don't think that might actually be a saying. I think I was just on a bobblehead from Fallout 3. But you know, the value of the phrase, the sentiment of it, is still valuable, I believe. Okay. I think that's all most of the clothing done, except for some of the buttons and the patches and everything. Yeah, we can move on to those before we do the skin. Okay, so I was thinking that maybe we could do like a kind of embroidery on this button here. Okay, how about... No, not this. Hearing a lot of motorcycles out there. Oh hey, actually this might work. Earlier I was trying to make a sunflower, and so I made a sunflower petal brush, but that's not really working out anymore. So I can just use this to make a texture. What color would this be? Getting warmer. Colder, warmer, colder. Warmer, colder. Warmer. Perfect. Okay, then right here, we're gonna erase this part here. We could probably make this into like an alien patch or something. I feel like that would suit the character pretty well. Then I guess some of these could be like... I kind of wanted to make these into like planets almost like to have a Jupiter type pin. Not quite. Also too dark. There we go. Then this one can be Mars. And I guess this one would be what? Neptune? Saturn? Wait, no, it can't be Saturn because then it would have a ring. I guess Mercury would be close. Mercury is like yellowish, right? I don't think Mercury has a proper color. I think it's going to be one of those like iridescent kind of things. Yeah, I know that Mercury is fucking terrifying conceptually speaking, because being that close to the sun does some messed up stuff to your kind of planet's atmosphere and everything. Yeah, believe it or not, being that close to like a literal ball of nuclear explosions is maybe not ideal for kind of a hospitable environment. I think I heard that it essentially rains glass sideways because there's like some silicate in the air, and it's so hot that it just melts into glass. Which, you know, kind of cool in a conceptual sense, but also terrifying. Okay. Or like when you hear about Jupiter's winds, like, oh yeah, there's a hurricane on Jupiter all the time. I don't think you should be allowed to call it a hurricane unless you have like when you say the word hurricane, I'm picturing, right, like a cow kind of flying in the middle of a tornado. Basically disintegrating? Yeah. Yeah, like when you say tornado to me, I'm picturing like a cow kind of being flung around in a cyclone, not, you know, whatever the fuck is going on in Jupiter all the time. That's just stuff going around. That's not a tornado. All right? I'm putting my thoughts out on this. I don't think what's going on in Jupiter should be called a tornado. Okay. Oh, I forgot a collar. Yeah. It's like one of those like fancy telephone wire collars. Or chokers, I guess it would be called. Yeah, collars has certain connotations. Okay. Or, you know, it could also just be talking about, like, a shirt collar. Come on, cooperate with me here, buddy. There we go. She gives me 90s vibes. Yeah, I think I'm picking up on those too. I think these types of... I remember my mom bought a couple of these kind of necklaces. Essentially, I've been to New York a couple times with my family, and one of the places that we used to stop by frequently was the Museum of Modern Art, because they always had like new exhibits or something. And they had the coolest gift shops, essentially. That was also a big factor in it. And I remember one of the things we bought one time were these sets of necklaces, which were essentially like very flat silicate things, but they looked very cool. You know, my mom kept some for herself, and she gave the rest as gifts. Yeah, I've always like wondered what the purpose of gift shops was if you weren't buying anything, but then I remember that you can buy stuff for other people as well. You know, it's nice to just have a trove of emergency gifts to keep around. You know, especially if it's not even like themed stuff, if it's just like something nice to keep around. The little badges work very well. Yeah, I'm happy with how they turned out. God, I remember one time I have emergency gifts. It's not a bad idea because you know, as much as it sounds like callous, you can't remember everybody's birthday. You're gonna forget somebody's birthday at some point. There's no shame in it because, you know, birthdays come once a year. It's not always easy to remember. And obviously there's an egg on your face if they ever do come around and you're not prepared. So you keep a stash of emergency gifts. Yeah, I remember they used to do that with a lot of things, my parents. Like we got this like when we went to our home country one time, we just got this huge stock of chocolate. Our country is very famous for its chocolate. And we just got this huge stock of chocolate, which we just kept around in case we needed to give it to people as a gift. I may have snuck a couple of bars for myself, I'm not gonna lie. I cannot tell a lie. I may have in my innocence and my mischievousness, I may have eaten some. It was very good chocolate, in my defense. Okay. But yeah. I was talking about something else. I forgot. 90s vibe. I think maybe I was thinking about that or something. God, my biggest fear at work came true today because I was very worried because, like, you know, sometimes I space out on streams. It happens, you know. I think too hard. Sometimes when you give it your 110% to thinking, you like forget stuff. You go on like system 1 thinking, and you go on autopilot, and you just say some stuff that you don't remember, and you end up forgetting what you were doing in the middle of it all. It happens, you know, it's not that weird. But today that happened to me on call with one of my bosses, and it was really bad. I was like paused for a full 20-30 seconds, just wondering, just trying to desperately remember what the hell I was talking about. I eventually got there, but like, goddamn, that was like terrifying. It's a good thing he was such a nice guy, though. Like, the kind of current senior that I'm working with is an extremely understanding, very cool dude. I appreciate him a lot, and I'm glad he's helping me out with stuff, because honestly, I was getting quite desperate. I wonder when we switched over to having aliens be little green men instead of gray dudes. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the little green guys, but I wonder when it happened exactly, because I remember they used to call aliens like grays or something like that, because you know, they were gray. But you know, now they're like green dudes. Or if you're hit film director David Cameron, you make them blue. Was anybody else just absolutely floored when they heard of the friggin' Avatar 2 announcement? Because I know I was. Like, I was like, oh hey Avatar, I thought you were dead. Honestly, I forgot that Avatar 1 was even a thing. Yeah, same? Yeah. I forgot that Avatar 1 was a thing. Like, it was a wildly successful movie that had, as far as near as I can tell, zero cultural impact. Like, personally, to me, the biggest impact that movie had was like the weirdly racist drill sergeant dude say, "They will eat your eyes like jujubes." Like, I still remember the exact cadence and tone he said that in, and literally nothing else about the movie. I don't remember anything else about that movie. That's the only part I remember. They will eat your eyes like jujubes, and that is it. No memory vault turns up empty results for anything else. Yeah, I was confuzzled. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe the ending to Avatar might have been more. You know, I was a kid and ready to accept to suspend my disbelief like a motherfucker. So maybe the ending didn't make as much sense for normal people. Okay. I see. Okay, then over here, this is gonna kind of shade like this. Honestly, though, I feel like that's probably the best possible ending for Mr. Cameron himself, because, like, if you think about it, nowadays, things that have long-lasting cultural impact, you know, especially like artistic things that have long-lasting cultural impact, get milked to death. Like the Minions, for example. You know, I've never actually, I haven't seen the Minions movie, but I do know that as long as it keeps printing money, they're gonna keep making Minions movies. You know, I feel, not to disparage the fine animators at Illumination, but I feel like they're like, as long as it prints money, they're gonna keep making those movies. I feel like that's not an unreasonable assessment to make, and that's fine. Like, you know, at the end of the day, art doesn't always, like, at the end of the day, it's fine if people make money off of art, because that means that, you know, it does become, it is still viable as a career choice. But I feel like it also kind of means we've created this kind of culture nowadays where unless something literally crashes and burns so hard that nobody wants to see it ever again, people are just going to want more of it. you know, for better and for worse. You know, I know some stories which have like benefited from having the author kind of continue to tell the story. You know, not all stories were properly paced out. Maybe not all of them were. You know, maybe the author themselves was kind of dissatisfied with how the story went, so maybe they're grateful for a second chance to maybe get things right. But that's probably in the minority. Like, broadly speaking, most authors kind of intend to finish their story in one shot, without real room for a quadrilogo. There's so many freaking Greek words in that sentence. Like a friggin' multi forgetting my words here, multi-novel series, right? So like, I remember when I was younger, I started reading this book called like Pendragon or something like that. Essentially it was like the story of this dude who got isekai'd into different worlds, and you know, his grandpa was like part of a force that was made up entirely of dudes who got isekai to other worlds, and they essentially try to prevent this one dude who was fucking all the worlds up from fucking the worlds up. And, yeah, that was a fine and dandy. English is hard. English is so hard. You know, I don't give myself nearly enough credit for learning English as well as I did. Considering just how much bullshit is in the English language, not even counting memes and such. I often wonder what my life would have been like if I had never left my home country, because there is so much of my life that is tied to stuff that I uniquely consumed in English that I am actually wondering how radically different I would have become. Like I said, somewhere out there is a terrifying universe where I am somehow a jock. You know, nothing against jocks, but I just cannot pick that idea. To me is terrifying. I probably would have become some kind of criminal, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I probably would have taken up graffiti or something. Muscly rice bag, yeah, beefy rice boy. Yeah, no matter how I look at it, that idea feels wrong. Don't get it wrong. I'm not exactly like muscular, but like it's not like I'm completely without muscle. I do have some muscle to me, but the idea of me being super macho muscular is off-putting. Okay, I think I see what the problem here is. Okay. All right, a little help, shadow reference? No? Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, wait, no, hang on. I think this is working. Then decrease the size again. No, hang on. Try again. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more these eyes are bothering me. Alright, hang on. There we go. Yeah, no matter how much I try, that style just is not for me. I tried. You all saw it, I tried, but it's just not working for me. Oh yeah, I guess I should do the chest as well here. Alright, where is it? Here we go. What matters is that you tried. Exactly. You know, I'll try anything once. That's an important motto to have. Okay, how about... No, that's not gonna work. Alright. Oh wait, no, hang on. I know what I can do. Here we go. Once and never again. Sometimes, yeah. Look, as important as it is to say, hey, maybe this might be for me, it's also important to be able to say, yeah, this is definitely not for me. Hey, look, it's Batman. Okay. Back to work. I'm sorry. I have to goof off like that every now and again. It lightens up the mood. Not that the mood ever gets heavy, I don't think. Not usually. But if I don't clown like that every now and again, I'm gonna lose my identity as a guy that's funny. I'm gonna lose my my comedy credibility. My credibility as a comedian. That's not the right eraser. There we go. Mood is always comfy and silly. Nice. But I'm glad to hear. I'm glad that that's going on. I have an issue here, with how the chest is working. Okay, I think that might solve it. I think I need to re-angle the collarbones a little bit. Sorry, Batman, you gotta go. Okay, hang on. Let's put this back to how it was, because I really like how the shadow turned out, but that means the collarbone needs to be like way over here. Come on. Okay, then which layer is this on? This one? Yes. Okay. Then we can just kind of ooh, this might be tricky. Wait, no, hang on, I got an idea. Okay, never mind, I'm a genius. I can solve this, no problem. Okay, blend. I'm gonna need to blend this. You got this. I got this. Yeah, you're right. I got this. 5 minutes later, the stream is somehow on fire. I don't got this. Yeah, I feel like if this was a movie trailer for the stream, that's kind of how it would go. Like, I would immediately be like, I got this, and then it would smash cut to me on fire somehow, yelling, I got this, I don't got this. I don't know. Some people think that's cliche. I think it's always funny. You know, maybe I'm the target audience for that kind of thing, though. Yeah, I like the laugh. Arson! Yeah, burn this sucker down! It'd be really cool if I had like something to knock over here on my VTuber overlay, but I don't. Yeah, guy who has a live 2D animation, but just so he can like break a chair over his desk. God. We're like a couple of like people selling their souls to the devil to be better at live 2D rigging to get to that point. I've seen some of the stuff that like some of the girls in like V Shoujo can do, and it's terrifying. The kind of just sheer degree of animation that they have to them. Like if you look at Kaison's newer models, they're freaking terrifying in how smooth they are. Like I look at that, I'm like, that's like a real living creature there. That's like a real person stuck in the tiny box. Alright, hang on, I gotta... Don't process the whole line, just right here. Yeah. No, but legitimately, some of the indie VTubers have better rigging than pro VTubers, or you know, kind of like the more traditional like Hololive VTubers. And I think that could be that's explained to some extent because of the fact that maybe they also use artists who are used to kind of having their works used for VTubing or for VTuber rigging, more like. Because I know for a lot of the Hololive girls, they get famous artists to do their character art. Like I know, for example, Ina's artist is super popular, and I know Paco, who drew Sana's art, is also super popular as well. Wada Arco too. She made Crony, and so I feel like because of that, maybe they're not so used to the way that the characters are supposed to be sliced for VTubing. Although I know Crony's model has some absolutely nuts animations to it. Not that she ever gets to bust them out too. Not that she gets to bust them out too often. I don't imagine. You know, it's Okay, I need to blend this out. What layer is this on? Oh, I see. Okay, so I might need to merge these. Yeah, that being said, I don't think I'm allowed to give critique on like the quality of people's models when like the most impressive thing I can do is this. You know, that's not to you know, I feel like I need to be fair to whoever made those models. I'm certain they were trying their best. Yeah, I'm just imagining the dude who rigged all those people to be like, "Don't you lecture me with your $30 VTuber model." Now, I'm sure they're perfectly nice people. That being said, for the bid, it's so much funnier if they would be mean. Yeah, there's two types of being mean. There's being mean because like you're legitimately mean, which is unpleasant. But then there's also being mean for the bid, which is hilarious. I still have to do the hair. I'm very happy with how the skin came out though. Skin. Okay, maybe a little bit with the soft eraser right here though. Okay, cool. Alright. Then select the hair. The hair shouldn't be too difficult, I don't imagine. That being said, that's usually because my my method to shading hair is rather primitive. That being said, it's not going to stop me from absolutely rocking this, so let's go. Okay. I think the watercolor brush would be the best for this. Opacity 100, texture none, blending mode, darken. Alright, first we're gonna kind of like do a whole sweep of the hair. Just really give it some texture. Okay, then we can blend it out a little bit more. So I think maybe the textured blender might be good for this. You know, to kind of retain a idea of texture on the hair. Although this texture is kind of weird. I need to find like a good hair texture or like a good kind of analog to a hair texture. That's something that I've been missing from my arsenal. It's always felt weird to like call anything that isn't like a proper set of weapons an arsenal to me. In general, just like anything like calling a meeting room a war room, for example, always felt super weird to me. Like, bro, chill. You're not fucking General Patton. You're Craig from middle management. Chill out a little. Yeah, God. Like, or like people who keep like making allusions to, I don't know, Greek deities or something in their speech. You know, they kind of pepper it to that. in order to sound more epic, you sound like somebody who has a thin blue line sticker on their car, dude. All right, that's what you sound like. To my great delight, I haven't met too many people like that, but I've met a couple, and oh boy, it's not great. It's not a great scene. All right. Hang on. Okay, that's decent for like a beginning kind of shade for that. All right, blend that out. And then we can get started with the highlights. Yeah, the problem with highlighting hair for me has always been that, like, if you go too far in the cool direction, and it ends up looking kind of like aquamarine, and unless you're drawing Hatsune Miku, that usually isn't what you're going for. Oh wait, this is probably because I'm in darken mode, aren't I? Isn't it? Alright, hang on. How about soft light? What? Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, ever since I began to understand a little bit more about like what the blending modes do in the brush settings, I've become much more powerful. Although granted, I still don't really touch them unless I have to. Alright, how about overlay? Too strong. Ah, yeah, I'm going Super Saiyan 3 over here. I'm like, Master. I'm like that one comic where the guy's like friggin' going Super Saiyan 3, and he's like, Master, what is this power? And the old man is just off to the side like, I don't know. That's scary. That's such a good comic. I don't know what manga that's originally from, but I imagine it's gotta be a little bit like Nichijou or something. It might be Nichijou for all I know. Alright, I'm happy with that. Just a couple of trims on the glasses and we should be ready to start the background. How are we for time? Okay, we're doing pretty good for time as well. I'm glad. Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, I keep trying to keep these streams in like the 3-hour mark. Mainly because that's also like when my energy starts to crap out. And I know that if I do that, if I try to push that, then it's not going to have good consequences, kind of, ever. So, you know, it's important to pace yourself a little bit. I might also do a little bit of shading on the eyes, just a little bit. Alright, hang on. Blackburn. Here we go. Okay, how about... Hang on. Oof, yeah. That's why I really admire people who have like really strong stream stamina. I know that's very common among VTubers, like admiring people who have a lot of stream stamina. Yeah. Like I said, it's not like a matter of actual... Especially for like drawing, I think. Because I'm using a surprising amount of brain power doing this, believe it or not. You know, my nearly incoherent talking may throw you off of that fact, but I am in fact using brain energy for this. Okay. Ooh, that's nice. And then we can do a little bit of stuff on the cigarette as well. Alright, and then... there we go. Ooh, hydrate. Good call. Thank you. Forgot the hand skin. I was about to say forgot the hand skin. I forgot to shade the hands. Yeah, we can do a quick and dirty one for that though. Hand skin. Yeah. Hand skin, the newest game from Hasbro. Have your kids ever wanted to wear a glove, but permanently? Well, now with our new brand handskin product, you can. Experience all the joys of having a second temporary skin. Warning, side effects may be permanent and include having a second hand, growing a third arm, awakening the spirit of beasts forgotten until time due to the perversion of humanity which you have now undertaken. Please. God. I do hope that's how they roll out cybernetics, though. Like, if we do end up getting, like, the cybernetics universe, I do hope it ends up being commodified to the extent that you could basically just graft an arm onto yourself if you want. I feel like it should just be that easy. I mean, granted, I'm not exactly doing a whole lot with the two hands that I do have. So, you know, maybe adding a third one would be a waste. I know that in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, one of the main characters explicitly grafted a third arm onto himself, so he'd be better. So he could like flash people double finger guns while he was jet skiing. He also happened to be the president of the galaxy. That is such a good book. I should reread that one of these days. Yeah, like the way I see it, right? Getting a third arm would be kind of like getting a third monitor, right? You get two monitors, you know, you get two monitors in your desktop setup, and it's pretty great. So you think to yourself, hey, I bet I could get even more done with a third monitor. Don't listen to that. That is the devil talking. All right? You don't need three monitors. You need to do less. All right? Okay, here we go. I forgot the knee skin too. Alright, hang on. We got this though. Okay, then we can use a little bit of this darker tone for right here. Alright, cool. Now then, right, the background. Okay, so this seems to have some kind of weird photo effect background. I don't have those, so we're gonna have to improvise. Okay, okay, maybe we can find something in this huge pile of things that I've got here. What about, okay, chain, braid, simple frill. No, that's definitely not matching. What I got here? Got bottles. Got bottles for days, honestly. And these are such pretty bottles, though. Like these feel very satisfying to look at. Round and round and round we go. How many bottles? Nobody knows. What's this? Books? We got fucking books in here? Actually, that might work for something. Hang on. Looking scrunky. Thank you. Okay, wait, hang on. I think I got an idea for this. Although maybe not books, though. What? Oh, wait. Okay, wait, no. I've got an idea. Wait, rubble? Ooh, that might also be good. Oh, man, so many good ideas. Okay, wait, building. This is what I was looking for. Okay, cool. I was thinking about something. Right, the figure ruler. All right. Okay. Let's see if my little hypothesis will work. Nope, hang on. Okay, I need to duplicate this to curve around a little better. Okay. Texture, angle. Where is this option? Angle, here we go. Select the angle of the brush tip, flip horizontal, flip vert. No, that's not what I need. Direction? Set thickness of the brush tip. Nope, nope, nope. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Okay, this might do it. I guess not. Okay, how do we do this then? Where is the ruler? Down here. Okay, gotta get it over here. Josh, where's the ruler? Okay, I need to reconfigure this somehow. Where? Oh, I see. I have it turned off. Oh my god. Okay, so maybe that wasn't the answer, so... Hang on. 10 tilt. Oh, direction of line. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, I think this might be it. There we go. I got it eventually. I got there. You know, it took me a couple tries, but I got there. Alright. Okay. So then... Now what? I didn't think I'd get this far. Alright, here's what I'm thinking. Kind of like a lime green background. No. Maybe a slightly different green background. I feel like we've got something here. I feel like we're very close to having something here. Oh, this is the one. This is the green. Orange? I mean, orange might also work. Hang on. Let me try this. Let me try that out. Huh. Alright, alright. I kind of like green a little more, though. Sorry. Okay, well, obviously I'm partial to green. You know. I'm a little partial to green. Of course you do. Okay. What about then? Okay, what other objects do we have in here? Effects. Oh! Okay, neat. No, that's not gonna work. What's this? Oh, right, I had these things in here. This might actually work for that kind of 90s vibe that you were talking about. Could also do this thing. Lots of options, okay. No. Okay, so maybe instead of having the buildings there, what we might do, we'll keep the buildings for now. We'll hide them away in a different layer. I forgot to shade the bat. God damn it. Every freaking time. It's like when you try to leave your house in a hurry and you realize you forgot like half your keys, your wallet, your phone, your social insurance number, and everything inside of a truck or something on the other side of the city. Good grief. All right, quick and dirty, quick and dirty. Let's do this. Let's get her done. There we go. Okay, hard eraser. Ooh, that's the wrong. Oh, I've been working on the wrong layer. But that's fine, that's fine. We can work with that. That's fine. This is fine. I'm fine. I am so normal core right now. Okay. Actually, no, just kind of like this is nice. Yeah. Actually, no, but hang on. Kind of like this is nice. Hang on, let me try something as well. Just kind of this, copy that and paste it, then really zoom it in. Okay. Hang on. I might have done something here. Alright, and then, hang on. Filter layer only. Okay, so shrink selection by 20 pixels, let's say. 20 more, 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 20 more. Okay, invert selection, fill it with white. Okay, I've gotten... Okay, I think I've got it. And then I remember that right here I also had a texture or material that had like a... What do you call it? Where was it? I had it here somewhere. Download maybe? No, it wouldn't be in download. I had it somewhere around here. Texture. Image material, yeah. Here we go. Okay, then we needed to apply this in a certain way. Overlay? Or soft light? It was one of these things, hang on. One of these is gonna be right. No, it's not this one. No, that's also not it. Wait, I think maybe... Okay, so maybe like this. Yeah, okay. Okay. Then maybe expand it a little bit so it's a little bit... So the grain is a little bit more visible. A little bit less visible. Okay, cool. And then... Let's see if we can't do some stuff with the... What do you call? Tone map... Gradient mapping. Alright, so pictures usually have kind of like this... Hang on, I gotta merge this with the background layer as well. For only to editing layer. Here we go. Cool. Hang on. Gotta redo this step right here. Okay, now we should be in business. If we copy and paste it over. Okay, then hue, saturation, luminosity, blah blah blah. Gradient map. Okay, what kind of ooh, no, that's not right. Oh, this might be it. Kind of like a photo feeling to it. Yeah, I think this one's gonna be the one. Maybe this and another one that's like sepia tone. Alright, hang on. Alright, edit, hue, saturation, luminosity. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. I want gradient mapping. I've gotten to hue, saturation, luminosity so many times over the years that I've started to like forget, or like I've started to have trouble almost like remembering the other ones. Like if I need to, okay, so I think we gotta do these one at a time, right? Okay, ooh. Okay, and then the second one on top. Alright, yeah. Works for me. Yeah, no, I think just normal darken would be good for this. Okay, cool. Alright. Let's sign that, and I think she's ready to go. I wonder if my signature's changed at all since I started drawing. It probably hasn't changed too much, but I'm happy with how this came out. Alright. Time for a nice big stretch, and we'll saunter on over to the just chatting screen. Whoop, whoop. Alright. So yeah, that's another Artfight piece done. I'm very happy. I'm honestly really happy with how these are coming out. I'm feeling very motivated. I'm feeling inspired. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling groovy. Okay. Let's go find somebody to rate then. Who all is streaming right now? Oh, quite a few people. Oh, hey, JB's streaming. Let's go say hi. Yeah, JB's a cool guy. He has a lot of cool designs on his stuff. Alright, okay, so on Saturday we will be coming back for another stream. I'm going to be playing Valhalla again, which is always a great time. I'm loving that game so far. It's such a funny game. So we're playing that, and I think that's the last stream for the week. You know, take it easy, have a good weekend, get some rest, and happy Friday. See you all later. Bye.